Watch this video.
So these are some of the things I regret as somebody who is below the age of 25 and who is still in his early 20s. The first one is buying a land at the age of 21 and starting a building instead of getting a car as a business owner. You understand? I regret it a lot. Do you understand? If I knew earlier, I would have bought a car first instead of buying a land and building a property. I regret it. Forget the fact that a lot of people brag with properties, blah, blah, blah. I still kind of regret the decision that I built a property instead of buying a car. If I own a car, it would have upgraded my portfolio as a business owner. You understand? And then one other thing I regretted, I still regret it now, is the fact that I focused more on my career and business too much at the age of 19, and I forgot to focus on myself. You understand? At the age of 19, I focused on my career as a photographer. I want to be the best. To the extent I was sleeping in the studio, I wasn't even going out. Like, I wasn't focusing on dressing. I didn't dress, no skincare. I was just focusing on act. If I say any fine girl, what comes into my mind is I want to snap this person. I want to snap this person. So I focused more on business, and I lost my teenage life. I didn't focus on my teenage life. I didn't hang around with friends, no teenage friends. I didn't even have the chance to hang around my mates because I was just so focused on business. You understand? I was just so focused on business and I lost myself. I forgot to build a style for myself. I forgot that there's something called hygiene, something called skincare. You understand? I regret this as well. And one other thing I regret is the fact that I started business in Delta State. I never knew there would be a time I would grow to an extent where I feel like I have the urge and the drive to leave Delta State and relocate to Lagos. You understand? Because the other factors included that is making me regret the fact that I started a career here and I started a life in data because now I have a property and it's not like a house. If it was a house, I would say, okay, fine, I can just leave it. I've already built a business space. So I bought a land and I built a business space thinking I'm going to do all my whole life investment here. So I just, as a 21 years old boy who was gaining profit from his business, his small photography business, I just bought a land and I built a studio. You understand? Built a studio that was big enough to be like a 4-bedroom flat or maybe a 5-bedroom flat. You understand? I built a business place. And now I no longer have interest in Delta State. I now have interest in Lagos. And I kind of regret the decision. Because whenever I see that building that I built, I kind of regret the money I put into that. Because if I calculate the money I put into there, what is 40 million? It's even more than. You understand? So I regret it every day. If I knew I wouldn't be in Delta State, I would have bought a car of like, let's say like 15 million and then use the other money, go to Lagos and build my brand in Lagos. You understand? Because now, as I grow older, I'm now meeting people in Lagos, building connections in Lagos, and I really, really regret it. And I know a time will come, I will travel out and I'll forget the building and it's going to be a waste of investment. So I'm still having the urge to sell it. You understand? And one other thing I regret is the fact that I started dating too early. Yeah, I started dating too early and I kind of regret it. You understand? I started feeling the pains of relationship too early as a very young boy. My first relationship was 17 years old. I was 17 when I dated my first partner. So I regret it. See, now, and I know a lot of people are regretting it. A lot of people are regretting it. And then one other thing I regret is, I think in my career, I was once a stand-up comedian when I was the age of 16, 17, 18. I was really funny. I was a funny comedian as of then. So I dropped my career. I dropped my comedy career. I was a good artist also. I know how to draw. I dropped my drawing career, I dropped my comedy career just to focus on photography alone. You understand? But I think destiny have his way of realigning things because I was created to talk. I was born to talk. So I knew one day I'm going to face the media and talk. You understand? Because right from child, I've always loved to talk to that. I carry this Jehovah Witness book and I start preaching to my friends when I was a kid. Then before I started doing comedy, stand-up comedian, I performed on stages and stuff. I performed on stages with Eriga, Captain, and a lot of those people, you understand? But when I started learning photography, I just left everything, dropped my career and focused on photography. And I still regret it today because if I pursued my comedy career, I would have been a very, very good comedian. Because the more you do something, the more you perfect it. You understand? The more you do something, the more you perfect it. And I think one thing I also regret doing was I didn't learn the art of detachment very early at a very early age. So I tend to love too deep and most times it hurts me. Like this year, my whole year was scattered because of love. Because the person I dated like of December to like February, March, she really messed my year. You understand? And that's how much heartbreak can destroy you. Can mess up your whole year. You understand? But I think the one I regret the most is that building. that the money I used in building that place was enough for me to get a car and get a comfortable life. But I was too naive. I was too young. I just made a decision out of rush and I built the place. And now I don't want to be in Delta State again. I want to leave. You understand? I want to leave. Another thing I regret was that growing up as a young person, I focused on beauty of a woman and it kind of messed with my head. But I thank God I'm now retracting myself. I was so focused on beauty and the body of a woman that I didn't focus on the characters of a woman. But now I think I'm not retracting myself as well. You understand? And one other thing too, what other thing did I do I regret? I think I regret not being so close to my father as a young person as well. I was so close. I'm very, very close to my mother that a lot of people call me mommy's boy, but I wasn't that close to my father. And now growing up, I tend to realize my dad wasn't that much of a bad person. He's actually a very nice man. And these days I kind of still have conversation with him and stuff like that. So if you're a young person watching the video, I will urge you, please, please, and please, go closer to your dad. Sometimes you see those images of your father you were seeing when you were very, very young. Your dad is a nice person. He's a sweet soul. You understand? Because these days, sometimes when I go to my mom's house, my parents' place, my dad sometimes give me transport money. And I didn't see him as that kind of man. So I regret not building that friendship with my father when I was very, very young. You understand? And then one other thing I regret was my first love. I really did that get dirty because we just finished secondary school and that girl loved me with everything in her. She loved me a lot, but I did that dirty. And there were a lot of girls I did dirty that loved me, even though I don't have anything. Nobody's one I don't big, okay, body. I was very, very skinny, unattractive. I'm unattractive, but I mean, way back, I was very, very unattractive. And then I dated people who genuinely loved, and I threw them away. And I kind of regret it as well. I regret it as well. And then again, I regret making decision out of hurry. So if you're a young person, you're thinking of going into a career, please don't make decision out of hurry. Keep it calm. When the time comes, everything will align. You understand? And also, I think 2026, let me urge all of you, if you have money, travel to a good city. If you have big dreams, travel to a good city. Okay?